kind of a zoo day here. So welcome. This is the morning yoga. Hope to take 15 to 20 minutes. You could do that in your bed or in surfaces of a rug. If you can have pillows, cushions, something around you to kind of help you up, support you. Blocks, if you have blocks. If you don't have blocks, use books. I did it for years. But like they're quite easy to get these days. They're €2-3 in most shops. Easy to get. So it's a nice investment. Even if you're not a big yogi, you can still have it around the house. It helps you to a lot of things. Like it helps you just sometimes to rewind, let's say it this way. Now there is a dogs around, so it's a little bit of zoo day. Anyways, so if you can sit down. You can do it on the bed if you want to, but I would kind of suggest go on the floor. If you don't, like I'm saying, if you don't have a yoga mat, put a blanket down, not a slip blanket. So prop something underneath your ceiling in your bum and try to kind of get your pelvis to sit nicely in straight so it doesn't tilt forward. Right? Or don't lean back. So even if let's say if you're really sore at the moment and you find this very uncomfortable, get a chair and sit on the chair as well. Or if you have a bed there, sit on the bed. That's because what we're going to do next, a couple of minutes, is not going to ask you too much of stretching out the legs, or like it's perfectly fine if you're doing it in seated position, because they're much tighter in the mornings than we would be in any other time, because we have been in a kind of a resting position. So the water hasn't been, it's really, everything is slowed down, so the fluids in our joints are not as fluid yet, they're more like jelly, so we have to get them going again, like water in contact. The more we move after then, the more we can kind of get going, and that's why the morning yoga is absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to get this one. This is only a puppy. In. Okay, so let's sit down. Let's get going. So if you can set so your knees a little bit lower than your hips, it just helps a little bit with the fluidity and with your hips as well. Try to keep your pelvis as straight as possible. It kind of helps you to engage a little more pelvic floor muscles and gives you a better posture. Also keeps yourself safe. Now we're not going to do anything drastic. It's a very small movements of what we're going to do. We're going to do a bit of yin yoga. We warm up our body a bit. We're going to do a little bit of yin yoga, targeting of the soft tissues, not soft tissues, I can't say it. and then we're going to do a little bit more activating the body and the heat in the body, so we can start our day. Okay. Now, right, so I'm saying it's a zoo today. It's a zoo. Right, so I want you to put one hand on your shoulder, on your heart. So whichever is more dominant hand. For me, it's a right hand. For you, it could be left, right, whatever. I don't know how you're going to say it. I'm going to probably mix it up, the left and right, but I hope that's okay with you. So put a hand on your heart and keep your spine straight. So I want you to start to listen an outside word. Listen to the noises which is here. It could be your husband snoring, it could be your kids sleeping, it could be cracks and noise in the house, it could be cars driving by. I'm outside, I can hear birds, and I like to sometimes when you get up very early, you can even hear that during the sunrise, just before the sunrise when the birds are starting to sing and just listen. Pay attention how they make you feel. Do they make you feel safe? Do they cause you anxiety? See how you feel. What is your emotional state this morning? Are you happy? Are you tired? Are you worried or stressed? Can you see how your happiness, where is it in your body? Where are you holding that happiness or the anxiety or whatever it is? You cannot flush it out like that. Sorry about that. Where is it in your body? Now I'm going to pay attention to your breathing without changing anything. Do you breathe in your chest or in your stomach? We're not going to do too much today with the breathing. I just want you to pay attention to your breathing. Now I want you to visualize that your breath which you're taking in goes to that part of the body where you hold that tension or that calmness or that happiness. And if it's a positive emotion, I want you to feel how it expands all over your body, but everywhere. That you breathe in, do that, and it's when you breathe out, it just expands, goes into your legs, your arms, your heart, your head, and you do it again, and it just spreads the light and the joy throughout your body. And now, but even if you feel a negative emotion, right? You feel anxiety and stress, or whatever it is, I don't want you to expand, okay, when you breathe in there. I want to really you to acknowledge it and move it. Every time when you breathe in there. And now when you breathe out, I want you to just trying to get it out of your body, okay? Trying to release it out of the body, okay? Because that is an energetic blockage there, okay? All our stresses doesn't define who we are today. It's in the past. It happened yesterday. Yes, it's still a stress. Your financial burdens, your work projects, your issues with your family members. But we carry on the stress rather than looking for solutions. If you carry on the stress, we only see the negative aspect. So I want you to release that negative aspect and say, I can do this. I can find the solution. It doesn't define me who I am, okay? By releasing that anxiety, worry, stress, we are able to actually then start to see things in a different perspective, and we are able to find the solutions to our problems. But we tend to hold on the stress and the worry and the concern rather than hope or start to see different perspective. Now I want you to put your hands on your, we're going to do a bit of a warm-up. You can open your eyes. Hello, good morning. Now, with your head, this is going to be the tricky part because this is me trying to find a language. So if I lumber up, I'm very sorry. Meditations are much easier than trying to guide you in a safe poses to yoga. So I want you to lower your right ear to your right shoulder and try to guide your left shoulder down. Just kind of keep opening on your left side of your neck here. You feel a little pull and stretch. Not as like an opening. So all the tension is leaving the body here. This throat chakra opening here. The next time you breathe out, bring your head in the center again. Now breathe in, do it on another side. Left ear to the left shoulder and opening on the right shoulder here. Guide the right shoulder down, don't let it get creep up. Just leave it down. Make it a little bit like a heavy, that it just drops down. And you have this opening, this tension leaving in the shoulder. It's nice. It actually relieves the tension in our jaws if you have grind out of teeth. Because these muscles are connected to our jaw. So if you're, it might be very, very stiff if you like to grind your teeth a lot. So kind of nice. Now I want you to grab with your chin up on the ceiling, but I don't want you to go like this. I want you to keep your spine nice and strong. Just really open up with, so you could feel opening in your chest here. It's a total throat chakra opening here. Breathe in, breathe out. Carve the chin back down, but now down to your chest. And again, I don't want you to go like this, okay? I want you to keep your spine nice and strong and really at the back of your neck to kind of shine up to the ceiling or the sky or wherever you are. Okay. Breathe in. I'm going to breathe out back in the center. Now we're going to do some shoulder. So can you do like keeping your hands like inside? Just drop your shoulders. This shaking thing, shaking your hands, shaking your shoulders is actually one of this. It's a trauma release. It's again like if you have been kind of sleeping like this and getting your tension in your shoulders, it kind of helps to release any of that. It's a small thing, but we can do. You know when you're going to like, that's exactly what you do. You like release the trauma, okay? So now I want you to like just not going like this, okay? Again, just don't pull together like this. I want you to just move the shoulders and shoulder blades up and back down, okay? Just, you can put it in my hands and shoulder, it's just going to go up and down. It's a subtle movement, it's not massive. Don't do that, okay? Don't try to push anything forward, just gently, okay? And we're going to go a little circle. And you're just moving like a lady, okay? Like this. Now reverse it. I have actually an injury on my shoulder, so this is causing always a bit of a wow, oh, the tension, the breath. Now we're gonna do it. Okay. Now I want you to put your hands up like this, okay? And we're gonna push or turn our hand upside down. And we're gonna stretch the arm out from your shoulder, okay? We're gonna move it back up. On your other hand, for me it is left hand actually, or right hand, you put it down on the ground. And stretch your arm up towards the ceiling. Don't come in like this. Just really nice opening in here. And now we stretch all across.
Now, I don't want you to go down like this, okay? Just keep your hip bones very rooted, your spine strong, straight, and only move from the cervix. The cervix. Oh, sorry, I told you, thoracics, and just kind of open up all the sides. Let the tension go. Let this all this thoracic, the intercostal muscles between your ribs to open up. You nearly want to push your hand, just push your body a bit against the grate, just to open. Now, come back down. Breathe out. And breathe in. We'll raise our hand. We breathe out. We're gonna release it. We breathe in. We're gonna stretch the arm up towards the ceiling. And we breathe out and go across. Again, helping to open up that chest and the side of the body. And all the intercostal muscles like, oh yeah, this is beautiful. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and come back down in the center. You're gonna do it again. But now you're gonna go back out, stretch out. We're gonna go up and we're gonna breathe out, but we are going now to look up our arm. If it's possible, if you have any neck issues, don't. Because this kind of helps us. We're actually going to turn our body a little bit towards the ceiling, and it opens up all the front. That's one. Okay. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And come back to the center. Do another side. Hand towards the ceiling. Hand up towards the ceiling. Stretch out. Up above. Stretch out again up towards the ceiling. Turn your head towards your arm if you can. If you can't, stay there. Just kind of a nearly hand goes nearly behind you. It's just a little angle behind you. And it opens up all the front here as well. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Come back in the center. Now, how are you? This was beautiful. We are going to do now a little bit of cat-cow, or seated cat-cow. So again, just make sure your pelvic is straight. I'm going to go on the side to show you exactly what the movement is like. You could, I'm going to leave you up, right? If you are comfortable, you can take a little block off. I'm going to go lower. Some by now, you might be even going down to the floor if you're feeling it, because it just kind of opens, we're starting to open and expand a little bit more. The seated cat-cow is amazing because we also start to warm up our hip sockets and get the fluidity in there. So we have done our shoulders, and now we're expanding a little bit more on the chest, but we still keep this kind of a movement there. So it is like a really nice warm up for our spine, our lower limbs starting to come on across the line, and still keep working on our upper body. Okay, so standing straight, just make sure your little hip bones, the bony parts, are really facing down, because if you are already in like not neutral position, it's very hard then to move. If we're like already this, we can't already build it like this, okay? Or if you're like already like this, you can overextend our spine, and you don't want to do that. That's the whole point. You don't want to do that, okay? So staying in very grounded and level. So it's like a bowl of water. It's not dipping forward. It's not dipping back. And that's what I'm saying. If you can, just make sure your pelvic floor is, the pelvis is in a nice, vertebrae is nice, neutral level. There's nothing wrong with being seated. I do this actually every morning on my bed, seated. I'm not getting on the floor. I'm doing it seated. because I would have a bit of arthritis from childhood. I have rheumatoid arthritis from childhood. So for me, sometimes it can be very, very, very painful to do that one. Okay. So hands on on your knees or on your legs, wherever it is, and just keeping your spine straight, like you're shining your top of your head, like a sun to the ceiling of the sky. Dip your pelvic floor forward a bit, and its whole spine goes. Now with your nose carve up, not too high. It doesn't have to go like this. Just up a little bit, like you're looking at the sun. And then carve, dip your pelvis back and your whole spine, and carve with your nose looking down to Freddy the cat. Pull your toes and then move back. Pelvis flared, dip it forward and back. See the cat. If you're working in an office, it is great stretch for your lower back. If you get stiff, it can be done. But if you're brave enough, dining table, go to the restaurant, ideally, same every day. You can add breathing in, towards the sun, and down. You can add arms if you want to, if it's too much of coordination. It can be nearly like a meditation. Saying I'm looking way up because I do like a little back bend from the top. Not everyone is comfortable with it. Stay where you are, okay? You can add arms by tilting forward and going looking up. You bring your arms up, and by tilting back, you bring your arms back down. It kind of helps with the breathing, and it helps with the movement, and it's quite meditative for your brain, okay? Now, if you are seated, it's perfectly fine. You can do things, just put them a little wider. And if you on the bed or the chair, if you're down, you can do this still. If you like to take the blocks away, I wouldn't recommend. Just you can do this with the blocks, sitting on the blocks. Just kind of move the feet in and out, knees together, knees out. Okay, we can do a bit of a wiping. Now you can stretch out your leg, even when you're seated on a chair or a bed, you can still stretch out. Just get kind of a hands, hold on to the chair. Just kind of wipe them a little bit. Now I'm going to go to seated, and if you're on a bed or seated, you could come down on the floor. Okay. What we're going to do, I'm going to go in this way so I can see it's the same thing. Sorry, Freddie. We're going to keep doing the same thing. We're going to keep our spine straight and our pelvic still straight. But we're just going to go in an angle. Kind of helps a little bit more. Now we're going to wipe our feet down here. Do this way. We're going to stretch them out this way. We're going to opposite toes together. You can put on one foot a little higher, a little wider. Get a whole angle. All the juices in the hips. Nice and steady. Like it. The camera has fallen a bit down, so I just needed to kind of get the camera quick. We kind of dipped forward a bit, so I was kind of disappearing into the floor. Another leg. Wider up. Just bring it ahead. toes, stretch the toes. Point the nose, stretch the toes. Point the nose, stretch the toes. Like that. I'm going to do a bit of toe circles. What we're going to do now is you're going to bring your leg over your knee or wherever is comfortable. If you're want to go back up on the seated, it's perfectly fine. And just going to bend the toes a bit with the help, okay? Not too much, but like just to kind of get the tension on the front, all the nerves working in here, like doing this palliative point of the toes, helping with the hand a little bit, and then stretching it back and helping with the hand again. On our toes, there's a meridian points in like Chinese medicine. They're really helpful to activate those toes, even massaging a bit, giving a little pressure points on the toes will activate some of those points. So you can give yourself a foot massage here. Just swap leg, pull it. Oh, it's so nice. Pull it again. And again. Just the help of it. And we don't actually, like I always teach this, so we don't pay attention, we don't actually pay our attention to our toes, but toes are very big part of our body. Now, come on. Thank you. So we're gonna go down on the ground. This is where we're gonna do a few bits of legs, okay? I want you to put your hands on your outside on top of the knees and bring them around your chest and just rock on the side to side. I'm gonna give a little bit of a massage on the lower back. After holding us up so nicely on the floor. Doing all the little exercises for your back. So now, when you place your feet down on the ground, what we're going to do now is if it's available for you, if it's not, then stay where you are. But like, I want you to place your ankle over your opposite knee. So it is, for me, it is left ankle over right knee, okay? And if you can, raise that right leg, okay? Doesn't have to come up high. You can place your hands and support your right thigh to hold it. You could add blocks if you have cushions, books underneath. And just kind of keep your ankles straight. Just try to hold it there. Now I can go quite high. If you can go higher, try to not lose the little gap. Like, don't come in here. Just kind of keep the little, this little like neutral spine. Now this helps to open up all this side muscles here and tendons and ligaments. Why it's fabulous when you have a sciatica. It kind of helps to release that. There is a bundle of muscles here what are the nerves going through, and it just helps to kind of untight those muscles. And I am struggling with a lot of sciatica. It used to, and this has been a lifesaver for me. Okay, now put it down and swap around again. Put just up and place the right ankle over your left knee. It's figure 4 stretch. Okay, again, if it's too much, put it underneath and try to kind of like gently make sure that your knee is in an angle and just away from your body a bit. Okay, and then you can raise the leg up and hold it. It's juicy today, especially this side. Usually it doesn't, but it's nice open here. It's also considered as a vision Bose reverse, not something so much milder than the one which you do on the ground. Okay. I'm going to go back here and you're going to do a little circles. You're going to bring the knees back on your chest, with the hands over the knees, but this time forward, not on the sides. You put it on the forward because it's quite neutral for your knees, so you're not yanking them on the side. And just do small circles. You're helping to kind of relax again. Those muscles will have been putting a lot of pressure. Another side down. Now I want you to put your knees, feet back on the ground. I want you to take your left leg and cross it over with your right. And now again, I want you to use blocks if you can, or a posture where the dog is sleeping, and place it on the opposite side on your right side, because we're going to swoop our legs and try to get them on the ground on this side. Okay, put this. It can be very uncomfortable. You might not even come up as far as this. Okay, so if you are using cushions, blocks, or posters, just wrap them on it. And while we are sitting here, try to keep your shoulders level on the ground. Don't pull or push anything, just let it be, okay? Stretch out your left arm, look out, look in the ceiling. If it's possible for you, you can look on opposite to the left side, left hand, but it's not necessary at this very moment. We're trying to open up again the back of the muscles and have a little spinal twist on the opposite side. It's also really good for our legs, and a whole lot of legs kind of stretching out those muscles for a more fluid day ahead. Okay, holding your hand on it, if slowly, then it's kind of these are the yin yoga poses. When the tissues are starting to open up a little bit more, you might feel that you want to take a block away, a bolster away, a cushion or pillow away. It slowly kind of opens up a little bit more and more. And you can kind of feel here as well, this whole pull from the little finger down to your arm, down to your scapula, down to the very bottom of the arm. This is where your nervous system is starting to kind of react. Your fascia, everything is just kind of starting to reform. I invite you to find your edge. Not just, if you don't feel anything, just go a little lower. Okay, cross your legs a little bit more. Or take the block away. Pressure your hand a little bit just to get the twist a little bit stronger. Just to kind of find the edge. But trust me, even if you don't want to find the edge, the body is still doing the work. You're still doing a great job. Okay. Now bring your arm back in, across your legs, and back in the center, placing your feet down. And now cross your right leg over your left. And we're going to repeat it to the other side. Just place your blocks or cushions or whatever it is straight to the other side. Pull the legs over to the other side. Stretch out your arm. Keep your shoulders on the ground. Have the opening on the whole side of the back. Down to the arm. The sun is coming out. It's so warm now. I love it. It's beautiful. I could stay here now. If you find your edge, you take the block away. The edge will always be will not. We don't understand hospital. You actually what you can actually do. I love to say the food is only serves us what we can handle. It never give us anything that we can't handle. Come back to the center. Release the legs. Release the arm. We're gonna do now a bit of bridge pose again. I want you to use blocks if it's too much for you. So having your legs down on an angle, 90-degree angle. Not too close, not too far. Just try to bring them in a 90-degree angle. The whole process, I want you to keep your knees not falling. Okay? So just keeping them nice and level and steady and strong. So we practice with this. Just try to ground your feet to the ground, okay? By slightly pressing them into the floor or into your mat, and you raise up your hips. It's straight away you have activation of your glutes and your thigh muscle, and you feel the weight shifting off, okay? Now, I don't want you to have the whole weight on your ankles. I want you to actually start to feel how you can also practice that with your shoulders and your arms. So placing your hands down on the ground, find that weight, feel strong and grounded. Feel the earth as if it's grounding us, where you are holding yourself up here. Okay? So by pressing your feet on the ground, I want you to curve. Again, tilt your pelvis back, bring it up, slowly and slightly, not too high, not too far, and hold it in here for a breath or two. That could be just enough, and then slowly continue your belly back, bring back to the left. Never do it again. Just tilt the pelvis a little bit. Ground your feet and your heels on your toes. Bring your pelvis and maybe a little bit higher. And keep it in level. Nothing goes overextended or nothing. Keep it in level. You might bring your shoulder blades a little bit higher this time. Engage your pelvic floor muscles, all your tummy muscles. Yes. And it helps you to hold you up and slowly come back down. You're going to do it again with the breath. You breathe in, and with the breath out, you just pull it all up slowly, vertebra by vertebra. Breathe in here. Breathe out here. And slowly go back. Great stuff. Bring your feet back up on your shoulders. Rock from side to side. Exhale. Now if you can, you can rock up, or you can just roll on the side and slowly come back up on a seat. Now, We are going to come back into the standing, and we're going to do a small, tiny sun salutation sun salutation. It is very easy, simple, and it's not going to be too complicated for you because the sun came out. It is one of my favorite things to do to activate our whole body now for the day ahead. Now I'm going to face in a bit of the sun, so if you come at the end of your mat, okay, stand your feet about hip width apart, so your two fists together should be going in between your legs. We are going to place our feet towards the wall, whatever it is, and end of the mat. Bend your knees a bit and see where are they landing. So if you have fallen arches, you might find that your knees are coming together. Just try to fix it that they just kind of go over the middle toe in here, okay? If you're fallen arches, other side, you find your knees going outside. So we don't want to be going inside or out, so we just want them to face the toes, a little bit over the toes. Now bring your knees back up, level your pelvis again. Make sure that your hips are lining with your knees and your knees lining with your ankles, okay? We're gonna come up here, we're gonna roll your shoulders back and forth, and we're gonna land our hands. This is a mat pose. This is the pose where we are going to be doing the most. Put your chin on the shelf, you can level up with the floor, and feel like you're being pulled up towards the sun, because we're doing sun salutation. Right. Now I want you to roll your hands up, breathing, breathe out, bring the hands back. Watch your shoulders not creeping up, just staying nice, and we're going to breathe in again. And this time we're going to go down. We're going to bend our knees, and we're going to just in a hip crease, we're going to go down and the back. Stick our butt out. We're going to come up by bringing our hands across our chins, up, rolling our back. Put the hands together in a prayer pose and we come down to our chest. We're going to do it again. This time we go a little bit further, okay? So we're going to breathe in. We're going to come down again. We're going to bend our knees and we'll crease from the hip crease. We're not going to come to the waist, we're going to come to the hip crease. Down to the crown. Now we're going to come up again. We're going to bring our hands up on the chin, and we're going to get to this halfway pose, okay? It doesn't have to be. How much time do you make hot milk? Twice. Sorry, that's my son. No! And that's my dog. And we're going to come back down. Slide back down. And we're going to come up again. Just sliding our hands on our legs up, looking on the ceiling or whatever it is in the wall, high and down, reaching to the chest. Okay. Now there is a bit of entertainment with my dog. Oh. I'm very sorry. Fine with me. Fine with me. I'm actually going to put him back in because. So, back up, we're going to breathe up, and we're going to go a little further this time, okay? So we're going to go back down, the crease, we'll bend our knees, we come back down. You might find now that you have less bendings, but it's not enough competition. Head down. We're going to come up on this halfway pose by sliding our arms across our chin. This time, we're not going to go back down, we're going to go up Sit back, pull in, draw up our pelvic floor muscles, raise our hands up in this seated pose. And now we're going to place the hands in the heart chakra in a prayer. And we're going to do it again. Go up, breathe up, breathe down, out, bending our knees, bending from the hip creases, going down, placing our head down to the ground, coming up to the halfway pose, whatever is there. Keep your spine, halfway pose, keep your spine straight with your hands on your chin. You don't have to have a straight knees here, okay? Breathe in. Go into this half-seated pose. Breathe out. There we go, with a little turn. Okay. So, hands up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bend forward. Place the top of the head down to the ground. Come up into the halfway pose. Go back down, place your hands on the ground. Step your right foot back, okay, wherever it is, into lunge. You can put your knee down. It's too much. You can stay up if you want to, but I would recommend we just do it. And come up. Breathe in, breathe out. Put your feet back up, hands back on the ground. Bring your foot back in. And here, come up. Breathing in into the seated pose. Breathe out. Back in again. Now we're going to do the other side for the same foot. The same thing to the other foot. Okay. Breathe up. Come back down. Up. And you come back down. Place your hands on the ground. Step your left foot back. Put your knee down. Make sure you keep the 90-degree angle in your ankle and your foot, your knee and the toe. Okay? By breathing in, come up. Breathing out, come back down. Put your hands down. Step in. Breathe in. Breathe out. Coming in with a half seated This is what I'm going to do today. We're going to do 2 more rounds of that on both sides, sorry. So we're going to do 2 more rounds of this. And then we're going to go a little Savasana, standard Savasana, so we don't want to go to sleep. Okay, so come up. We're going to go back down. Slide your hands up to the halfway pose. Slide your hands back down. Step your right back, knee down. Little stretch. You should pull here. You should feel this opening up in here. And back down. Step your foot back in. And we breathe in. Do the half seated pose. Breathe out. Breathe in, sorry. And out. And again. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Going around hands down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. do it one more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. 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 Breathe out. Breathe in. 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 Breathe out. That's lovely. Now, we're gonna come back seated, or you can stay standard. And we're gonna go up for a little meditation. We could use a mantra here, but we're more